Namaste everyone. I'm super curious today about how your brain works. And when I say this, it's kind of like a question because my brain has been always creating parallels and metaphors about everything that I do in life, whether it's traveling, if it's life or business or any kind of experience really. I always seem to be like creating those parallels of like lessons that can be applied in other areas of my life. And I was just wondering if people are also like this, or what are the things that are easier for you guys to recognize, and where are the aha moments that you get in life? Like how does the insights come? Where are the mindset shifts that comes? Today I was in yoga class. It was really nice because it was the first yoga class that I was fully able to participate since I had my scooter accident in the beginning of the year. And it same time that was great. Of course, I'm super grateful for being there and finally being able to do downward dog again. I sucked. Truth is that I was horrible. Like I was so stiff and like my body was just not anymore balanced. It was just like shaky all the time, and like my muscles were weak. I felt like totally out of balance. I would still be very concerned about my food. And I'm telling you this because there is definitely like a lot of perceptions and parallels that I did with life. Truth is that today was a day that I finally realized how challenging yoga can be. Because normally it's easy. I'm quite flexible normally. And today I realized that I was not. And by not being flexible with my body, I realized that maybe even me in attitude might have not been so flexible. And what I say about that is that by doing some poses, I was like, oh, like I wish this would end sooner, or I was just like very resistant and just allowing myself and surrender to the moment and surrender to the pain, or breathing through the pain, which is how we know that like that's how we heal in yoga. That's how the stretch goes further later on. That's how we warm up, and then we can like kind of like getting, it's really like working a muscle, right? And this is also about life. This is also about business. It's about any kind of new ability or skill that we are getting to. We just don't know in the beginning. And there's this moment of warm up, there's a moment of struggles and a moment of being hurt. Right now during this video, it's already like super late at night. And today I was just the whole day brainstorming and organizing, and I wanted to see the strategy of my channel, and I was writing down in like so many ideas, especially about the business part that I want to speak later on. And then I was like, yeah, but I still need a proper setup for talking about these topics. I should probably like make like search keywords first, and a bunch of things. Like my strategical mind was there. And with that, I spent the whole day thinking of what I was gonna speak today, and not really recording the video. Like it really kind of procrastinating, and like so again and again I keep like coming to the cycle, right? Like I'm super excited and I'm really happy and grateful for all of you who are actually watching this. But I still come across that moment of stretch and the resistance. It's like, oh wow, this new skill is not as easy as I wish it was. It's not hard either. It's just, it's there. It's actually growth and it's expansion, and I can feel the stretch. And it's just like how I was feeling as well at the yoga class. And the other thing as well that I found it really interesting was that the observance was, when it's yoga class, we are not competing with each other, right? Like you should not be looking at your surroundings. But in life, so many people are always looking at the surroundings and who's doing what, and like people were just like comparing themselves, and not really realizing that everyone has a different story, has a different journey, and we never know exactly what's being behind. And people have as well even different purpose. So the other day, for example, we had a brunch, and one of the guys, super successful entrepreneur, I find it like admire, and he was saying that he when he looks at Elon Musk, he thinks that he's a crying baby or something like that. I don't remember exactly the term, but it was something like very dramatic. And I was like, oh my God, but it's just like that guy is a machine, is a robot. He's super admirable in so many ways, but his purpose and his mission is totally different from yours, like from any of us. So I think we should always remember that, instead of being comparing each other, whether in life or in business or in travels, and instead of that, going to a cooperation kind of yes, a cooperation kind of energy, right? Like, so in yoga, it's the exercise is actually by itself, like everyone is doing their own thing. It's a competition, is more like with yourself, about you improving your practice. And but there is as well the flow of everyone being in synchrony and kind of like maintaining those poses, right? Like, it's not like anyone can do whatever. Or if you do like acro yoga, for example, people will be helping each other. If it's any kind of other sport, people need to be in synchrony somehow. People have to know how to deliver themselves and do their best individually, but also work in team. This also happens in teamwork, in business. There's always this thing. So we, instead of us thinking of competition, like I've worked in corporate before, and I could see that even in the same teams, working for the same company, people are actually, instead of working on themselves and like boosting themselves, like, and growing together, they might be just like kind of trying to compete between themselves to see who's gonna get the next promotion or something like this. And I find it that it's some sort of a mindset that we really need to start shifting, because when people collaborate and people help each other, it's easier for everyone to grow. And if people focus more on the final objective of things, that will also be the same. So just like in this yoga class, that everyone is just in the objective. Actually, people have different objectives over there, but I think overall, people are wanting to, move their bodies, be very conscious of their bodies, be very aware, and allow their minds to actually focus, to actually calm down, right? Also, another thing about the yoga that made me reflect and think about business as well, it's about the present moment. It's about like being connected in that present moment, and yes, you kind of are aware, and just as an observer of what is happening and your thoughts and happening there. And of course, in business, we need to be more strategical and actually get stuff done and think about the future and everything. But at the same time that we're doing there, it's really good if we have that presence, instead of just being always in the future or always planning, and always, it needs to be balanced between like, okay, so what is it that we're doing now? How we're gonna achieve this now? Like, what are the baby steps that we need to take to go to that place? It's always that balance, right? As I said, I really need to do the video about both ends and then both from quantum leadership, because I love that principle, and I'm gonna do that. It's gonna come next month. I'm planning it will be a series of business videos and strategies and reflections. But I'm starting now, still with this mindset and life kind of thing. And the other thing that I felt as well with yoga is like to remember that like we cannot make assumptions, right? Like the same way that we're not competing and we just don't know what is behind and what is going on with anyone. So it's really good for us to be really compassionate with our bodies, be super self-reflective, be super, have self-love, have really, be gentle and allow your body to feel the pain, breathe through the pain, and let it pass, let it go, relax in that sense. There was one thing that the teacher was saying that I really enjoyed was the fact that if we couldn't jingle, I think that's how he said it. Yeah, we couldn't be moving in a position, right? Like he was like, if you do this, like you're not healing. You need to totally stay still, go through the pain and stay still. And a lot of times actually in life or business, right? Like if there's pain, there's something we want to resist, or we want to find ways and like get out or try to come, kind of go around it without really experiencing it. And truth is that it can be really super, super healing when we actually face the difficulties and we can actually sort out and look at a problem and actually dive into it and see, okay, this is the problem, let's face it, how do we do this, instead of just pretending it doesn't exist, or like in teamworks people are not talking about the conflicts or what is really going on, and those things end up like normally not being a long-term kind of solution. So those are my reflections for today. Sorry if I talked way too much. I'm quite tired, but it's still like, and my brain is like everywhere with those thoughts and perspectives and ideas actually for this channel. So thank you so much for being here.